Good evening, Eswatini, and welcome to the 8 p.m. news broadcast brought to you by Eswatini TV. My name is Nondobego Nzapkelwago. Let's take a look at tonight's headlines. His Royal Highness Prince Machaha received a food donation worth 170,000 emalangeni from Bassett Hardware. The Federation of Indigenous Businesses in Eswatini, together with African E-Trade, trained different business people on how to tap into electronic trade. Babane Highlanders Managing Director Ali Khomongwe has promised to finance Manzini Wanderers Football Club while they await a new director. The news. His Royal Highness Prince Machaha says it is important that while the country battles with COVID-19, there is a need for people to have food while they take medication. His Royal Highness was speaking when receiving a donation of 2,000 bags of rice and beans from Bassett Hardware worth 170,000 emalangeni. The food donation was presented by Bassett Hardware owner director Nduduzi Mabuza.
Bassett Hardware has donated 2,000 bags of rice and beans respectively to the Prince Machaha Foundation, which will be distributed to the needy in the country. Receiving the food donation, His Royal Highness Prince Machaha thanked Bassett Hardware for the kind gesture, which he said it comes at a time when the country is battling COVID-19, which has taken many lives in the country and left many people without food. His Royal Highness says this is not the first time Bassett Hardware is assisting government and the country, which shows that they are a socially responsible company. He says the COVID-19 outbreak calls for a collaboration among all sectors in the country for the benefit of the less privileged.
Bete batodonate ngema-rice njengoba nibona kulamalanga ukuthi wonke umuntu uphishanekile, uhulumende uphishaneke ngawo lo mkhuhlane, bakamhlabuhlangene baphishaneke ngawo lo mkhuhlane, umhlaba wonke uphishaneke ngawo lo mkhuhlane. Kepha-ke ukuthi into le ndlula ukuthi kubanjiswane kubonakala ukuthi uyagomeka lo mkhuhlane nini bekunene. Njengoba-ke nade ukuthi imikhuhlane ngeke uyincobe ngamaphilisi, nakufike unathe amaphilisi kufike kube khona lokhona ethunjini. Njengoba-ke nababambisa ngale ndlela lena nje lama-rights lawa atawusita ashintshe netimpilo, abantu bakhone kusitakale banathe amaphilisi nini njengoba sibedile baka-Bassett Hardware bekunene.
His Royal Highness Prince Machaha said that their Majesties are pleased with the assistance from Bassett Hardware.
Uwenkosi sitokwethulana naku sipho lesitawuhamba nawe enkosi siye eMaswatini lokungema-rice ema-10 kg lang 1,000 ne-mabhontshisi ema-5 kg lang 1,000.
Nduduzi Mabuza, the director of Bassett Hardware, says they've seen the enthusiasm that His Royal Highness Prince Machaha has shown in helping the needy in the country. Hence, they saw the need to extend a helping hand to his foundation because a lot of Emaswati have been hit hard by the COVID-19 outbreak. Mabuza pledged to continue supporting the Prince Machaha Foundation as they wish to assist the country. The donation that was presented to the Prince Machaha Foundation by Bassett is worth around 170,000 emalangeni. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Sibusiso Ngubane with Mbongwa Dube, Ezulwini.
The Federation of Indigenous Businesses in Eswatini, FESBIC, together with the African E-Trade today, trained different business people in the country on how they can enhance their businesses by tapping into the E-Trade platform.
The Federation of the Eswatini business community, together with the African Electronic Trade Group, today engaged business people in the country, whereby business people were trained and educated on opportunities they can get when using the African E-Trade network. The first big Vice President Ezekiel Mabuza says using these methods will improve the business sector in the country and also assist business people to create better ways of living.
Some of the other businesses are not taking off past COVID-19 as we speak now. so la kule i-trade utakhanda ukuthi soyawathola ama-opportunities la khona lo ngakhona ukuthi ungatrader emaveni ngoba kukhuluma ngawo onke lamava ase-Africa. So ngenteka ukuthi na uklikha kuleli vele ukhande ukuthi kukhona lokuvele lokukhanza ukuthi kuyi-product lo ngakhona kuyenda.
The director of the African Electronic Trade Group, Treasure Mapanga, explained on how the program will assist people and that the businesses, especially small businesses, will be able to use more ways to promote their work, especially during this period of the COVID-19 disease.
Changing the mindset, itawusita lokho ukuthi uma ngusomabhizinisi ureview i-business plan yakho ngoba mhlawumbe itolo bothengisela bantu la kangwane kuphela. Le platform itawusita ukuthi ukwende lokho kodwa itawuphindze futhi ivule amathuba.
The use of different technologies will help business people to obtain more skills in their work and be able to take their businesses in the different countries of Africa. Reporting, I'm Temalangeni Dlamini with Muslim Konta, Matapa.
The Chief Executive Officer of Business Eswatini, Nathi Dlamini, thanked the government of Eswatini for the establishment of the 45 million Emalangeni revolving fund to help micro, small, medium enterprises adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
When unpacking the latest COVID-19 intervention by government in the country, the Prime Minister Ambrose Dlamini announced the 45 million Emalangeni revolving fund for micro, small, medium enterprises that were mostly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Chief Executive Officer of Business Eswatini, Nathi Dlamini, has encouraged small business owners to grab the opportunity and utilize the fund.
Which means they are with us as business. And to us, this is just a small demonstration of our commitment to building the economy of this kingdom. I'm hoping that this time, with the 45 million revolving fund, the government has taken note of that and they've made the entry barriers more, shall I say, user-friendly, so that most of our members, indeed the small businesses, can access them this time because they really need the funding to survive.
He explained some of the interventions they are doing to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 in their constituencies.
We started this exciting project of planting what you call village textile factories in Ngundla Center. We started with Nkanini Ngundla, where we planted a factory, trained the women how to produce. We trained them how to produce to international standards. And we give them the designs of whatever apparel they need to manufacture. We placed an order, they delivered extremely well, and I'm so proud of that in Ngundla. Then we went to Nhlambeni in Ngundla, did the same thing.
By supporting small medium enterprises, government is contributing in uplifting the country's economy, as the Minister of Finance, Neil Rickenberg, reported that the budget deficit this financial year is expected to widen to 8.5% compared to the 4.7% that was initially targeted by the 2020 budget. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Nelswe Ndlangamandla with Nelswe Simelane in Babane.
The Commercial Amadoda Vice Treasurer, Edward Masilela, says some business people, particularly in rural areas, fail to comply with COVID-19 regulations because they lack the financial muscle to provide proper sanitation stations. Masilela was speaking in an interview with an Eswatini TV journalist about challenges faced by business people in rural areas.
The Prime Minister Ambrose Dlamini, when addressing the nation on the national COVID-19 update, stated that inspections have revealed that businesses in rural areas still continue to fail to adhere to the COVID-19 regulations since other businesses do not enforce the wearing of face masks, lack of social distancing markings, among other things. Commercial Amadoda Vice Treasurer Edward Masilela says business people in rural areas lack knowledge on the precautionary measures against COVID-19. Masilela says law enforcers need to be visible even in rural areas to ensure that business people comply to these regulations. Masilela says they will continue to assist government in engaging business people on the importance of respecting and adhering to the COVID-19 guidelines.
Lama law enforcers asebenza lama dolobheni kuphela. le makhaya kude ama-law enforcers lalabo ukuthi vele lokhu kuyagcineka yini kuyagcineka ngilabo inspectors sebaphumile la sabakhuluma nathi sibambisene nelive ukuthi nobita kanjalo sike koma-comedian ngokuthi lesifo lesivele siyabulala thina sesivile siyafundisa la ngaso nathi ukuthi abantu abathiphathe kanjani bangasivikela kanjani. Uhulumende besibukile phela kuhulumende sibhekile ukuthi uhulumende ikakhulu emakhaya vele nale finance njengoba le sifo lesi shaye yonke into bantu kude imali ala mabhizinisi lemakhaya hamba kancane kakhulu umthetho awusho ukuthi bawungadi uyaqolela sithi nabo somabhizinisi siyabanxusa nanyalo ukuthi bonke bosomabhizinisi bethu aba-comply nemithetho yokuvikela lesifo lesihlasela umhlaba kangaka.
Over 1,300 businesses have been inspected by the Ministry of Commerce with the support of regional administrators, police and the National Disaster Management Agency for compliance to the COVID-19 regulations. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni with Nel Siwe Simelane in Babane.
Lukongolweni constituency has received food aid for 40 homesteads and 3 wheelchairs from the Taiwan embassy. Oliver Han, the deputy ambassador, says they are committed to assisting Eswatini in these trying times of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Eswatini continues to benefit from the cordial relations that exist between the Kingdom of Eswatini and the Republic of China on Taiwan relations existing between Eswatini and the Republic of China, Taiwan. The latter continues to assist Eswatini with food aid in different constituencies around the kingdom. Lukongolweni constituency is the latest constituency to benefit from the Eswatini-Taiwan relations. The embassy has assisted 40 homesteads with food parcels. The Deputy Ambassador, Oliver Han, says the embassy will continue to work hand in hand with Eswatini, especially in these trying times where a lot of Eswatini are in need of food.
Many people, especially in the rural area, they need food very much. We try our best to help people during the coronavirus pandemic season. This is because Taiwan and Eswatini are very good friends. We try our best to help people here.
Tati Magongo, a member of parliament for Lukongolweni constituency, says the constituency highly appreciates the embassy's kind gesture. Magongo continued to thank their majesties for establishing relations with countries like Taiwan.
Because of the climate change, it's a drought-stricken place, and there's no more plow here. You can come here winter, can come at summer. There's no maize because there's no rains. So this will go a long way, helping us to those that didn't get food when there was food distribution.
Over 347,000 Eswatini have received cash or food aid from government's food program. Reporting is Tembelihle Magujo with Temba Shabangu, Lukongolweni.
The Swaziland oil mill industry and the Southern Trading Company today donated food parcels that are worth over 75,000 emalangeni that will be taken to different constituencies in the country to assist Eswatini in need of food.
The Swaziland oil mill industry, together with Southern Trading Company, donated food parcels to the members of parliament that will be distributed to people in need in the different constituencies in the country. Daniel Shabang, who spoke on behalf of the company, says this is something they always do, but they found it more important as the country is battling with the COVID-19 disease and that they hope people in need will all benefit.
We are very much awake to what's happening in the country. The hunger and the starvation that has been caused by the coronavirus crisis. We very much appreciate the efforts that the government of Swaziland is doing, of Eswatini is doing, and many other helping hands that we are seeing. And we are just saying, in our own small way, let us put something as well back to the people who support us.
The chairman of the Eswatini Members of Parliament Elderly Project, Musa Mabuza, expressed his gratitude to the companies and explained where the food parcels will be distributed to.
This food come at a right time where The country has been hit by COVID, the country has been hit by drought, so it would go a long way, especially in the rural areas. So we'll sit down as an executive and see those constituencies which are they have got a problem with food or they are being hit by starvation, so that is where we're going to distribute it.
More than 347,000 Emaswati have benefited from the government's program of assisting Emaswati in need of food during this period of the COVID-19 pandemic. Reporting Mtemalang and Lamin with Muslim Konda, Matapa.
The Chief Executive Officer of Eswatini Sugar Association, Dr. Philip Nisi, says the sugar industry has performed well in the financial year 2019-2020, which ended in March this year, despite the outbreak of the coronavirus.
Sugar is known as the gold of Eswatini as it is one of the leading export commodities in the country. Eswatini Sugar Association's report for the year 2018 states that sugar contributed 7.1% of the country's total exports at that time. The association's chief executive officer, Dr. Phil Nisi, explains how the sector performed in the financial year 2019-2020.
Overall, the sugar industry has performed very well. In our financial year 2019-2020.
Mnisi says the increase in sugar tax in South Africa has not negatively impacted their sugar sales.
Here in Eswatini, we have not introduced a sugar tax. We continue to sell our sugar into the SACU market. Now, SACU, it's not just South Africa alone. It's Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho, and Eswatini, and of course including South Africa. But we do not only focus on the SACU market, which would include the South African market. We also look at other markets. We are very grateful that Eswatini is a member of COMESA, so we sell our sugar to other COMESA countries, for example, Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, or any other country in the COMESA or in the SADC market that has got a deficit and they're in demand of our sugar. We also sell in the EU, we also sell a quota to the USA, which gives us good prices, and also even in the East, where we have got customers that demand our sugar.
The association's 2018 report further states that in that year, sugar contributed 22% of the country's total agricultural exports. The chief executive officer promised the release of their 2019-2020 annual report soon. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Nelson Langamandla with Muslim Konda in Babane.
Eswatini Tourism Authority's Chief Executive Officer, Linda Ngumalo, says the safety of customers in the tourism and hospitality industry is a priority. Ngumalo says adhering to the Eswatini Tourism COVID-19 health and safety guidelines will make certain that people are safe amid the pandemic. Ngumalo was speaking during a workshop for the industry stakeholders in Manzini.
Eswatini Tourism Authority has been capacitating the industry stakeholders on the tourism COVID-19 health and safety guidelines in all the 4 regions of the country. The authority met with stakeholders in the Manzini region to ensure they understand the guidelines. Eswatini Tourism Authority's Chief Executive Officer, Linda Ngumalo, says in order for the sector to thrive again, these guidelines need to be adhered to. Ngumalo says this year the sector was hit hard by the pandemic. The Manzini Regional Administrator Chief Gija says Emaswati need to maintain a crime-free society for the tourism sector to thrive.
We maintain a good, strong cultural values that promote peace. The country must have peace. And we are happy this country does have peace. We just need to stand together and promote it. What supports tourism industry? Or the other thing that we need to educate the people of this country on the meaning, the value, and the benefits of tourism.
Tutu Dube, the principal environmentalist in the Ministry of Health, says infectious waste need to be handled with care. The tourism sector this year lost over 200 million emalangeni due to the COVID-19 pandemic. For Eswatini TV News, Sondo Mlangeni with Nelsiwe Simelane in Manzini.
Let's take a look at our sports news. Mbabane Highlanders director Ali Khomongwe will be assisting Manzini Wanderers Football Club financially while the club awaits a new director. Khomongwe revealed this during a press briefing held at the Happy Valley Hotel in Eswatini.
With Manzini Wanderers Football Club facing financial problems where players have not received their salary for quite some time, Mbabane Highlanders director Ali Khomongwe will come to their rescue as he will be assisting them financially while the club awaits for their new director.
I will give them the money to run because during this COVID-19 the situation is better. The other director cannot cross due to paperwork. But we need, at the end of the day, they must do something. They must buy players, they must pay their players. And then I will talk to the person who's coming on board.
Okay.
But it's not ending there. Hence, I've got good relationship with the incoming director. We will have what you call a working relationship. We will sometimes play together, camping together, doing a lot of things together.
Recently, Wanderers requested Ali to assist them with a director who will suit their needs, especially when it comes to finances. Ali said in a press briefing that he was able to get two individuals who are business people. Ali said he could not reveal their names at the moment. He went on to highlight that they could not cross and come to the Kingdom of Eswatini due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. On another note, Chairman of the Manzini Wanderers Management Committee, Bongani Mtloli, says the new partnership between the two clubs will not apply in the field of play. Mtloli says this is a game of football. It is to be mentioned that the rivalry between the two clubs will continue.
Ngicela ukuchaza ukuthi siyiManzini Wanderers neMbabane Highlanders mengikhuluma ngeMbabane Highlanders but lobudlelwane lobu akusiwo ubudlelwane ukuthi maybe kumbe sengeke kube ne-competition. I-competition itaba khona mbamba ke nyalo.
For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Mbabane.
Mbabane Highlanders has reinforced its squad with 3 new players who are expected to feature from next season. Club director Ali Khomongwe says the arrival of the 3 players is in line with the club's mission, which is to build a team that will be competing internationally. The unveiling ceremony was held at the Highlanders clubhouse at Eswatini.
Mbabane Highlanders Football Club has reinforced their squad with 3 new signings, being Swakile Shongwe, aged 16, from Manchester United from Pikes Peak, Sibongosi Dlamini, aged 21, from Mbabane Swallows, and Siposetu Mlotsa, aged 21, from Monene Pirates. Highlanders director Ali Khomongwe says this is their way of starting a new look with the club.
We are very happy to sign these new players. We need to change our approach by using the young players. We will have few experienced players so that these young ones, they must take that experience from the senior players and to give us the football that we want. We are the people who don't want to talk too much and praising ourselves, going to the media and say that we have 1, 2, 3. I think today you are seeing that at the clubhouse. And I think that if you can go around Swaziland, you won't get the clubhouse like this one. That is a fact.
The new signings also express their excitement after being unveiled.
I'm very much delighted for the opportunity. And
ibhola bengisola ngiyifisile vele kudlalela one of the big teams la kaNgwane. It's really a great pleasure and I really appreciate the opportunity.
Director Ali Khomong went on to highlight some of the players that have already left the club.
We released Pomlani Ngwenya. We released Bola Uneva, Mtobisi Mazibuko,
Moses Jimo.
Jimo Moses.
For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Musonera, Babane.
We will now take a look at the COVID-19 update from the Ministry of Health. The country has recorded 4 COVID-19 related deaths in the last 24 hours, bringing the total number of fatalities to 49. The deceased are a 67-year-old man from Menzini, a 77-year-old man from Menzini, a 75-year-old man from Menzini, and a 63-year-old man from the Hoho region. Active cases thus far are 1,531, recoveries are 1,258, deaths are 49, and those that are registered for care currently stand at 18, which brings the total number of COVID cases in the country to 2,856. Looking at the cumulative confirmed COVID-19 cases by region, Manzini has 1,300 cases, Ho has 1,150 cases, the Shiselweni region has 212 cases, the Lubombo region has 194 COVID-19 cases. Eswatini, that is all the news we had for you tonight. Up next is the weather forecast. Good night and God bless.